Rest in peace, VV. Hello, my friends, it's Johnaroth, and today we are playing with another new Lorwyn commander. Today we play with Sygg, Wanderwine Wisdom. Sygg is a 2/2 merfolk wizard that costs 1 and 1 colorless, and he can't be blocked. And whenever this creature enters or transforms into Sygg, the target creature you pick gains whenever it deals damage to your opponent. You draw a card, and then on your next turn, you can pay 1 white mana to transform him into Wanderwine Shield, where you can give another creature protection from every color, and then you can transform him back. So this is a commander where you bring him onto the battlefield, you can pick a card where if it damages your opponent, you draw another card, and then you flip him into a card that can give protection from all colors to a creature, and then you can flip him back. So basically you're switching this commander as much as you want to. It's kind of a timing thing. There's a couple different ways you could build Sygg. I've seen people build merfolk builds where it's a bunch of merfolk creatures. I've seen it with Voltron because Sygg can't be blocked, where you throw a bunch of stuff on Sygg and make him really powerful. I like a value build. So in this deck, it has a lot of control cards, such as Counter Spell, Glorious Gale, those types of cards. We do have some Planeswalkers for support, like Narset, the Eternal Wanderer, and Elspeth. And then finally, the last part of this build is we have creatures that are super hard to block because I want to draw as many cards as possible with Sygg. So you're going to have cards like Futurist Operative that can't be blocked, or you could use other cards in here like Malcolm that flies, or the Invisible Stalker, who is hexproof and also can't be blocked, basically almost untargetable except for board wipes. So the goal is to bring out these creatures, have Sygg give them the ability to draw you more cards, and just outvalue our opponents for victory. So let's see if we are successful with Sygg, Wanderwine Wisdom. Let's take him into the queue and see if we can get our value. Let's go. Okay, our very first game is against VV. Okay. Not a great matchup, but this hand is okay. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. VV is a very strong commander. Blue-red, basically you put counters on him and then he can help you cast spells. Super strong. Do we need more lands at this point? I think we'll just go ahead and put that in the graveyard. Let's go ahead and put down a land, pass the turn. Opponent is tapped out at the moment. Let's go ahead and get out a Fairy Mastermind here. See what our opponent does. Opponent shocks in a land, goes for a Talisman. You gonna kill something with that? Yeah, he's gonna kill off the Fairy Mastermind, perfectly fine. And we draw another land. Okay, let's get out Sygg here. We're going to keep up Subtlety. See what our opponent does. Okay, our opponent's going to Brainstorm. Is our opponent going to kill off Sygg? Maybe. We'll see. Unfortunately, Sygg's pretty easy to kill. I mean, he's only a 2/2, so he is going to kill off Sygg. Okay. Opponent gets out a Shockland and a Wayfarer's Bauble. Perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and get out our commander again. Just biding our time at this moment. Is our opponent going to kill off Sygg again? Maybe. Okay, our opponent's going to kill off Sygg again. Sygg's taking all the hits here. Okay, we're going to put down a tapped land. Let's put out our Invisible Stalker here, who is hexproof and can't be blocked. We do have up a counter spell for VV. Opponent is going to put down a 1,000-year elixir. Interesting choice. Let's go ahead and put our Misty Rainforest into action here. Let's get out a land. Let's try to cast our commander again. We're going to put a counter on the Invisible Stalker to draw a card. Opponent is definitely gearing up to cast VV. Let's swing in with the Invisible Stalker here. Draw another card. Opponent has a ton of mana. He may have a board wipe or something. Instead, he's going to go for a chromatic Ori, which we cannot do anything about. Our opponent has so much mana, it's insane. Opponent's going to go for the Virtue of Courage here. We drew another land. Let's transform Sygg. Let's give him protection. And let's swing in with both. Now we've got several counter spells here, so hopefully we can put some pressure on our opponent. Opponent's going to try to cast a Paradox Engine. I'm going to go ahead and counter that. Hopefully. Definitely don't wanting him having unlimited mana through that. Going to try to cast VV. We're going to try our Glorious Gale here. Let's choose the Invisible Stalker to be a ring bearer. Vivi is countered. Does he have enough mana to try again? He does. But he chooses not to. Let's go ahead and pay 1 to transform the Sygg back. We're going to swing in here. Starting to get some value from our commander here, especially against such a powerful opponent. Okay, we have Malcolm. We've got a pretty decent hand here. Opponent's going to try to cast Vivi. Let's go ahead and cast the Aven Interrupter here. And that will plot Vivi. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a board wipe. Honestly, that's the only thing that really worries me right now. Opponent is going to try to cast Vivi again. We're going to use Mana Leak to stop him. Do we want to transform Sygg? I think we do. And let's just make Sygg safe. Let's swing in for a massive hit here. We have our opponent down to 5. He does have a ton of mana though, so this could be tricky. He's going to... Let's go ahead and cast Subtlety here. To bounce Vivi. Hopefully he doesn't have enough mana to really just to stop our force here. Now we are threatening lethal here. Goes for a Tomb of the Infinite. And yeah, we just had way too much value. At our opponent's end step, we're going to also cast Malcolm. And then we're going to transform Sygg so we can draw another card. We're going to swing in for 6, 9, 10 damage. And our very first game with Sygg is a success against Vivi. Rest in peace, Vivi. Good game. Our second game is against another very powerful commander, Brea. Man, Sygg can't get a break. We do get to go first, and if we can get out Sygg, we'll get to draw some cards. We do have a turn 1 play here with Futurist Operative, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this. Let's go ahead and get out our Futurist Operative here. Opponent has a tapped land, which is good for us. Let's go ahead and put down a Hallowed Fountain, and we're going to go ahead and cast Sygg. Sygg's going to give his ability to the Futurist Operative here. And we're going to draw another card. Very cool. Off to a decent start. Too bad we don't have Stifle. We could have stopped that land, but that's okay. Okay, opponent goes for an Arcane Signet. Do we want to transform Sygg? I think we do. And I'm going to give Sygg protection from everything. Let's put down a Deserted Beach. We're going to swing in. Pass the turn. We do have some ways of protecting our creatures here. Opponent does have enough. Okay, our opponent has a Smothering Tide. Ugh. May sacrifice a non-token blue. Do I want him to have Smothering Tithe? I don't think I do. Let's go ahead and sacrifice the operative here to stop the Smothering Tithe. We're going to transform Sygg back so we can draw another card. Let's swing in with Sygg. Okay, we drew another island here. Let's go ahead and use Mentor's Guidance since Sygg is a wizard, so we can draw some more cards. We really don't need any more lands here. Yeah, we really don't need any more lands, please. Let's go ahead and get out our Esper Sentinel. We're deceptively tapped out. We're going to use Subtlety here, getting rid of the Utter Insignificance to bounce Brea back to our opponent's hand. And that is enough to put a lock on the game. Even though he drew 50 lands, having enough value this early is just too much for our opponent. On our turn, we're going to transform Sygg back, give him protection, swing in for another hit, keep whittling our opponent down. And if our opponent does cast Brea, what else we can do is use the split up because our creatures will be tapped and destroy all of his stuff. So overall, we're in pretty good shape. Really good second game. Next game, our opponent unfortunately goes first. We're playing against Rollesk, Prime Specimen. I don't think I've ever played against Rollesk before, but this will be a good first game for us to try. We do have Gemstone Caverns, which means I'm going to keep this no matter what. We can get a turn 1 Invisible Stalker onto the battlefield, which is pretty cool. Our opponent unfortunately does get to go first, and he does have green, which means there's going to be some ramp involved here, but I do want to keep this hand. Let's go ahead and keep 7. Let's go ahead and put down the Gemstone Cavern. I'm going to get rid of the Brineborn Cutthroat. We have an early turn 1 play with the Stalker, and I do want to keep the Unagi for a later on game. So, okay, let's go ahead and put down an island and cast the Invisible Stalker here, who is hexproof and can't be blocked. I'm hoping our opponent does something this turn so that we can get out Sygg and start getting some value. Opponent goes for a Pixie. Let's go ahead and put down a Flooded Strand. I'm going to go ahead and get out Sygg here, and he's going to add some power to the Invisible Stalker. We're going to swing in and get to draw a card. Okay, we got Curiosity. That's a good draw. I'm going to go ahead and just crack the land. Now, the reason why is just in case, since our opponent plays blue, he could have a Stifle or something like that. Plus, it might make our opponent confident enough to cast his commander so we can try to use Ossification against our opponent. Opponent's eyeing our commander here. I think our opponent knows we're might have a trap in place for our opponent. The opponent keeps looking at our commander, so maybe he's a little perturbed by our commander. I don't know. Opponent is thinking really hard here. Opponent's going to go for Kellen. Interesting choice. I'm going to go ahead and transform Sygg and give him protection. So Sygg can't be blocked and he has protection. That's perfect. Let's go ahead and put down a Hallowed Fountain. And let's go ahead and swing in with both. Hitting our opponent again. Our opponent can swing in at least with Kellen every single turn. Okay, our opponent's going to try to use stock up to get some more cards. Do we want him to do that? I don't think we do, so let's go ahead and use Mana Leak here to stop him. Don't want him drawing a bunch of cards. I don't know if maybe our opponent didn't get a land this turn potentially too, which would be great. Opponent can definitely hit us with Kellen. He's going in for both. Okay, understood. We're gonna go ahead and pay 1 to transform Sygg. And let's just put it on the Invisible Stalker. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go for Enduring Curiosity here to get our maximum card draw. We're actually gonna get to draw 3 cards because of Enduring Curiosity and Sygg. So this is great. We have a full hand here. Opponent's now looking at Curiosity. Opponent's going to make sure Enduring Curiosity is eaten. Okay. So let's transform and let's give protection from everything to Enduring Curiosity. And which then frees up Enduring Curiosity again. Now let's go ahead and get rid of the Pixie, because that's kind of our opponent's kind of suffering from a mana perspective, so I want to take away his mana sources. Okay, our opponent's going to stifle that. Perfectly fine. In which case, let's go ahead and turn the Pixie into a creature that's just a 1/1. And let's go ahead and swing in with the Invisible Stalker and the Enduring Curiosity. We're going to get to draw some more cards here. Perfect. Just kind of ensuring we're crippling our opponent here. Doing as much damage as possible. I'm hoping our opponent will do something to tap out, in which case we're going to bounce something back to his hand. Okay, he's going to hit us for 3. Down to 11. But I still feel like we're in pretty good shape. Opponent. Let's go ahead and transform Sygg back. And we're going to have Sygg get us some more card draw here. Let's put down a land. Let's go ahead and bounce Kellen back to our opponent's hand here. And we're going to swing in with everything, just being as aggressive as possible. Okay, our opponent is going to block. He wants to kill off the Curiosity. Understandable. Our opponent down to 9. We're going to draw a bunch more cards here. Let's go ahead and put down a flowering of the white tree to pump up our team. We're going to end the turn. We have Malcolm or consult the star charts. I'm probably going to play Malcolm because I really want to kill off our opponent here if we can. Our opponent did finally get the land that they needed, so he could potentially do something scary here. We just have so many cards, so that's a huge advantage for us. Opponent keeps looking at Curiosity. He's probably has, and he's also looking at the flowering. Okay, so he's going to bounce the flowering back to our hand. Understandable. Opponent's going to swing in. I like the aggression. Okay, let's go ahead and get out Malcolm here. I think we've got our opponent, though. Do we want to transform? No, not right now. Let's go ahead and try to cast the flowering of the white tree here. Opponent's going to remand it back to our hand. However, we can cast it again, which is enough. And looks like we have our opponent. Let's hit our opponent for a massive hit. And thus ends the reign of Rolusk. Another victory for us. We're 3-0. Good game. Thank you, my friends, for watching another one of my videos. This one featuring Sygg, Wanderwine Wisdom. Sygg is actually pretty good. In my final build with this deck, I did not lose a single game of the 7 to 8 games that I played. Now, I do want to be clear, whenever I say something like that, that means I won 7 to 8 games in a row. Am I saying you're going to win every single game with Sygg? No. What I am saying is that my win rate was pretty high, and it's a very strong deck. You can always lose a game of Magic if you get too much land or things of that nature, but it is built towards success. Having that value of drawing multiple cards over and over is just a very strong effect, and one I really enjoy. Sygg's a powerful commander. I would put him at probably a C, high C to low B tier. The only drawback being is that he is shifting back and forth, so you do have to kind of time that a little bit. The deck list is in the description below. Please don't forget to like. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to leave a comment talking about Sygg or another commander you'd like me to look into, or what type of donut is your favorite. I don't really care, as long as I talk to you, part of the Magic community. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.